Negotiation. For everybody out there who's in sales, I think that is the one thing which happens every day, probably tens of times every day. How do you negotiate well? How do you learn how to negotiate well? So there's this book called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He was one of the leading hostage negotiators with the FBI. And he has written a book in which virtually tells you how to negotiate perfectly in every situation. How do you negotiate perfectly? First of all, he says that you have to disagree without being disagreeable. Basically, you have to say that, yeah, I do not agree with you, but then, yes, let's come to a common point as well. You cannot close the negotiations, you cannot close the discussions there and then. That's why the book title is also called Never Split the Difference. Let's say something you are asking for, you feel that the pricing is 200 rupees, and then the other side wants to quote 300 rupees. So the logical course of action here would be to close the deal at 250, splitting the difference. But Chris Voss tells us that that's the exact wrong thing to do. What you should actually do is move in steps of 10, 10, 10 each, and try to close the deal around 210, 220, 230, wherever the deal closes as per your liking, and if the product you are buying is right for that price or not. Also, it tells you that a loss is not a loss, it's not a permanent loss. One stage of negotiation can lead to another stage of negotiation as well. Sometimes these negotiations takes months and years as well, but that's how you learn how to negotiate. So anybody who wants to learn the art of persuasion, the art of negotiation, you should definitely read this book called Never Split the Difference. Thank you.